So I'm going to be reacting to the servers, or maybe even the world's first Onyxia kill. Now, I can't be for sure that it's the world's first Onyxia kill, but it's the first one that has been recorded and uploaded from what I can see. By a user called Porcinet. They actually beat Onyxia in the beta, but Onyxia had a bug which made it a little easier. So they've actually managed to do it again on global launch using a Rend Blackhand deck, and I haven't actually watched this yet. So you're going to get my first reaction to essentially what is a level 26 deck beating Onyxia, which I'm not too far away from myself, so Onyxia could be on the cards for me. Remember, when you beat Onyxia, you get access to a new card called Dragon's Breath, which, by the way, is really strong, and people run in PvP all the time, especially the sort of the people that have beat Onyxia. But yeah, let's jump into this and have a look at how they do it. Okay, so immediately you are greeted with a chest right in front of you. Obviously lets you know that eco is very important. Now what you're seeing here is Wagon, and Wagon is considered by a lot of top tier players to be an incredible unit for PvE, but especially incredible for Onyxia. So Firehammer is dropped, and I'm assuming Firehammer is dropped specifically to deal with Gargoyle, because Firehammer deals elemental damage. So I imagine because you've got such a level discrepancy, that Firehammer is level 23 and just took out a level 30 Gargoyle. You send the Drake off and the Rend off to deal with the side lanes, which includes the Whelps, which is more Whelps. Tank the Whelps. A bit of old school. I can't remember how that video went, but it was something like that. So he unbound tanks that Drake to hopefully allow his Drake to take it out. And that Wagon is still going with the Firehammer for the time being. Firehammer been a very, very impactful unit. It shows you that how impactful Firehammer is on this particular level, even though it is so far below the rest of his collection in terms of levels. Double Wagon now placed, and we are churning through these towers, which is obviously very important. I think to establish eco, to make sure that you're getting the chests, and just have enough to actually threaten Onyxia. I imagine the Wagons are going to be very important because they technically outrange Onyxia to an extent. Going to get a Kobold that's now going for Onyxia. We have got yet another. Oh, not quite. I think he would have ideally loved to have that Quillbore tank it so that Rend could have dealt with the Griffin Rider, but not too much of a big deal, because we'll have a Firehammer to deal with it just afterwards. You have more Whelps spawning on the sides, which I imagine have to get dealt with. Otherwise, I guess they end up spawning. So, sending things to deal with the Whelps on the sides at the moment. Have we got the end? So the Wagons are just wailing on Onyxia for the time being. Grunts have been spawned in front of them, but I guess that's how you're dealing the majority of your damage to Onyxia without getting absolutely blasted by getting too close to her. Looks like it's just going to be a Wagon situation, which was, by the way, if you're struggling with the Devilsaur Queen, Wagon also a very good unit for that particular fight too. So basically, it looks like if your units get close to Onyxia, they just get one shot. So that's why you kind of need Wagon to actually do this. Otherwise, you're just struggling. I think he's running Flaming Soul on Rend as well, so that even if Rend does go down, deals a bit of damage. No, he's running Scale and Steel. Okay, so he's running Scale and Steel on Rend, which is another good talent. Chipping damage away. It takes a long time to deal damage to Onyxia, but I think it's just all about very quickly establishing control of these turrets and then defending them with your life. This is the phase 2 of Onyxia now, by the way. When she gets to 75%, she breathes, and a bit like Devilsaur Queen, takes out 2 towers that they go back in her favor. So this is probably why you need to have at least a little bit of gold saved up. Spawns a load of earth elementals as well, which are armored, and that's probably why Rend is so good in this situation, because there's a lot of... I mean, it looks like Rend is the perfect hero for this, or the perfect leader for this particular fight, because you can run Drake, which clears out the Whelp eggs. You can run Rend and Drake, which clear out the armored earth elementals very easily as well. It's good against gargoyles, so I understand why Rend is used as the leader of choice in this particular scenario. So you just need to survive and essentially go back to square one on the onslaught. It looks like you really don't want to be losing towers and chests. So it sounds like you really don't want to be losing towers and chests. I like the inclusion of Defias Bandits as well. They're so good at helping trade upwards because of the stun, but also if you're running the pick lock talent, grant you a load of extra gold, which is great in these situations. Like right here, just going to stun that Earth Elemental right outside the base. Luckily, Onyxia is not running Obsidian Shard talent, because otherwise that'd be absolutely OP. So it looks like we're just about getting through to another set of meat wagons making their way over to Onyxia, using the Whelpegs with Flame Burst talent to do their best. And look at how many Whelpegs we've got. And that's why I think running Drake with Whelpegs and sending them down the side is quite nice, because even if things do spawn on the side now, they'll have to get through an absolute army of Whelpegs, which essentially provides a lot of it essentially provides a lot of defense for your base, because it just means that you can't get past those without doing anything about it. So going to be spawning Whelpegs and Earth Elementals now. Four or three Earth Elementals getting spawned in the second phase every time that the Whelpegs spawn as well. Luckily, Rend and Drake are both very good at dealing with that. And it's just about getting those meat wagons up towards Onyxia and just getting damage on them. Because with that extra range talent, Onyxia can't actually fight back versus them. And we have another Onyxia's Breath, which is going to do exactly the same as it did last time. So it looks like when you get her to like 66%, and when you get to 33%, and she now spawns these big dragon guards. What on earth are these things? They look like they've got an AoE cleave attack. They're resistant, which is where, and they can attack air. So they're resistant. They've got an AoE cleave, and they can attack air. Goodness gracious! But it looks like the Fury on the tower on the left-hand side is helping clean that one up. And now it's just about re-establishing. We have Earth Elementals going to town. You have to defend against those, so you're going to have to think about dealing with the Onyxia's Guard later on. And I love this. The Fire Hammer again coming in super clutch, stacking up that Fury and dealing a huge amount of DPS. This is one of the things that if you could let Fire Hammer just do its thing on a target, has got a lot of DPS output. Double Quillbore as well. Absolutely love that. I assume the Onyxia's Guard is dealing elemental damage, which is why Quillbore is such a good tank versus them. Gosh, what an incredible fight, by the way. We're like, how many minutes is we into it? We're 6 minutes into the fight, and I think just once you're able to get through that last phase, it's just again about getting the meat wagons in tow. I actually don't even know if you could do this boss without meat wagons. Is this boss even possible without meat wagons? I feel like you would never get it done. But Rend obviously showcasing just how strong he is as a PvE leader in this circumstance as well. And I like the Scale and Steel talent as well, because there's a lot of elemental damage, and it's probably allowing, it actually allows Rend at level 25 to tank one of Onyxia's hits, which can often allow you to get a little bit extra chip damage down as well. So going into overtime now, gosh, can't believe they give you they can't believe they make you go into overtime on this situation, because it feels like this is such a long fight. They should kind of grant you as long as you want. But Whelpegs go down. We have the meat wagons jumping in as well, and that should be enough to take out Onyxia. Incredible fight, and just shows you that the excellent tactics here from Porcinet, even though he hasn't got the levels to compete with Onyxia, it's very, very manageable. Boom. Brilliant stuff. Fantastic. Really, really, really impressive stuff from Porcinet. That was a cool fight. That was a really cool fight.